Happy Friday, guys. This is another video with myself, Yemi Babatundi, and my fellow collaborator, Emperor Michael. You're good, Michael? All good? Happy Fridays?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. The week's gone fast. Happy New Year to everybody, and I've had a good start to the week. Yourself?
Yeah, I've had a good start to the week. It's been an excellent year so far.
Yeah, definitely. Me too, me too. Can't complain. It's been fast as well. Fast and smooth the first week of January, first week of the new year. It's been fast and smooth. Can't wait for the weekend. Can't wait for the weekend. Anyways, I've got a couple of topics that I'd like to discuss today regarding the wonderful world of boxing. First of all, did you watch the Ortiz fight, Ortiz Martin fight, Charles Martin? What did you think of it? If you did watch it,
I didn't watch it live, but I've seen it on YouTube since. So yeah, what do I think of it? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Ortiz is slowing down, or if Charles Martin is better than people say, or if it's a combination of both. I was thinking Ortiz is probably going to win quite comfortably. I mean, it's boxing. You can never say for sure. Because if it was as easy as that, when people say I'm a boxing expert, not me, but we get people in boxing that are so sure about people like Steve Bunce, they're so sure about fights and so on. But if it was that easy, everyone would be millionaires because then you just bet on all the fights, wouldn't you? So yeah, boxing could be unpredictable. I didn't see the fight going like that, and yeah, Ortiz just came up
yeah,
with a
yeah,
great shot.
Charles Martin did a lot better than expected. He actually knocked down, Ortiz, I think twice. He actually. Do you think Ortiz has passed? Do you think he's actually, Fautas caught up to him, and then he's actually, passed his best now, Luis Ortiz.
Oh yeah, he's definitely past his best, but it could be a combination of both. Maybe Charles Martin is better than we thought, but and obviously you've got to bring Ortiz's age into account.
You know what? Yeah, yeah. On paper, he's 42 years old, but really, he's actually probably 52 or maybe 60. You don't know. With these clean boxes, these boxing, their birth certificate is not, on record like we are, like it's in the UK. So, Ortiz definitely is older than we think he is. And do you think what do you think? Do you think Ortiz should continue boxing, or do you think he's a gatekeeper now, or what do you think he should do next?
I think he's a gatekeeper. I think, but it's a difficult one to say because you never know. On the one hand, I'm sure there's people out there he can still beat,
Okay.
but then do I think he can beat the top guys, the Fury, the Joshua, the Wilder? It looks like he's slowed down. So I just it's going to be difficult for him to beat a lot of people. Do I think he can beat Derek Chisora? He could beat him. I'd probably say Derek beats him. So I just think,
Yeah.
yeah, you're slowing down now. You're not what you were before. And yeah, if I was him, maybe you should retire before you get hurt.
Yeah.
I would say that. Go on, sir. Go on.
I think that Dutch is also fight Ortiz next as a farewell fight because Ortiz is a big fight. He will do big good numbers and it'll be like a winnable fight for Chisora. So that's what I think should happen. If Chisora wants to fight again, you should fight Luis Ortiz and call it a day. As a farewell, swan song.
Yeah, a problem a lot of boxers, they go on too long, and someone like Luis Ortiz, I don't understand this thing. Why do so many fighters not speak English? I don't understand that. I speak more than one language and I can articulate it very well. If you're a boxer or if you're doing any sort of job in the UK, the USA, or also let me rephrase it. Any country that you work in, I believe that you should learn the national language.
Yeah.
Whether it's China, Russia, Japan, Portugal. I don't understand why people don't learn the national language of a country that you're working in because it makes your life complicated. So Luis Ortiz, I mean, can he read contracts? Can he, how does he know what he's signing? And what I'm saying, the reason I'm bringing it up, it's like they don't really have common sense. So where we can see that he should retire, a lot of them just don't really. It's like you're not leaving in the
Yeah,
real
in this
world.
Ortiz situation, I don't think he's made enough money to retire. Even though he's had those fights with Wilder, I think he doesn't have the retirement funds. So I think he's gonna boxing for maybe at least another 5 years potentially. Because I don't think Ortiz has made enough money to retire, from what I can see.
But that's my point, because if you can't speak English, I'm assuming logically, obviously, I understand you can get people to translate for you. I understand that. But if you can't be bothered to speak English, what job are you going to do next? Like, and with me, if I had his money, because I can speak English, I'd invest the money. I'd buy this, I'd buy that, I'd buy property. And also, I'm not saying he can't, but I wouldn't keep boxing if I was in his position. I'd say, you know what, I'm not what I was before, and I'd leave it alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a lot of fighters, it's not just him though. A lot of fighters, they go.
Yeah,
I remember when
potentially.
Berners.
Yeah, potentially lack of English, of understanding of the English language, potentially leaves it vulnerable to be used and abused by promoters. Probably, being, a lot of his money probably stolen by dodgy contracts. And he's probably not aware of this because of lack of, understanding of the English language. Probably doesn't understand how to read the contract, so hence why he's probably still fighting on to make more money for retirement.
Yeah, but these boxers, it's just they need to. It's up to them, But if I was going to go to Cuba on holiday, forget working there. But I speak little bits of Spanish, but if I was going there for 2 weeks holiday, I'd make sure I learn as much Spanish as possible. So I just don't understand. And that's just holiday. Never mind if I was going to work there. So I just don't really understand that mentality.
The thing with Ortiz, the thing with Ortiz and PBC fight, I understand why they're so low to him. I never saw why Lewis Ortiz turned down the 5 million after the fight. Joshua, back in the Madison Square Garden fight back in 2019, when he fought Ruiz instead, because that's a $5 million offer. That's the biggest payday. I never saw why Ortiz fought it down, because I'm pretty sure he made way less than he fought Wilder in the rematch.
I'd say I remember that. I don't know the details. I haven't got any inside knowledge. But I can say boxers are very easy to control and manipulate.
Yeah.
And I'd say the general perception I get, Al Heyman doesn't really want to work with Eddie Hearn. So I'm assuming, to the best of my knowledge, Al Heyman he told him whatever. No, don't do this. And he just basically manipulated him into not taking the fight. Because I'll give you a quick example. If you look at what Leonard Ellaby said about Eddie Hearn recently, he's like saying, "Oh yeah, if I see Eddie Hearn, I'm gonna punch him on sight. I'm gonna do this and do that." But that mentality, I mean, Eddie Hearn's like almost half your age, almost twice your size, and you're not a fighter. And then you're talking about you're talking about physical assault, but that's a crime. You understand? Like, you're saying you want to physically assault Eddie Hearn. Well, it's illegal, and obviously Eddie Hearn's not just going to stand there and let you assault him. So if I saw Leonard Ellaby, I'd say to him, I don't really get where this energy is coming. Like, I don't understand that mentality. Okay, if you really got such a problem with him, well, okay, if you really want to punch, just call him out in the ring, like tell him to get in the ring. But why do you have such energy towards what? Because Eddie Hearn said Tank Davis doesn't sell, So what I'm trying to get at, from what I can see, a lot of these Americans, like, they just don't like Eddie for whatever reason. And so it's politics. So for whatever reason, they said, you know what, like Al Heyman said, like, I'm not going to let Luis Ortiz fight Joshua, which, okay, but even now, it's like Dylan White. I saw some comments that Dean White made recently, and it's like they're telling Dylan White not to fight Joshua. And, Dean White saying, oh, 80-20 isn't good enough. These are just silly comments. If I was advising Dylan White, I tell him take the fight, but they're telling him not to. So I'd say it's similar to that.
What annoys me is that Ortiz potentially, or him as well, potentially could have ruined Ortiz's best chance of retirement, because those would have been big paydays. Imagine if Ortiz knocked out Joshua, you made at least 10 million or more in a rematch. Because I think Ortiz at the time could have beaten Joshua and knocked him out, especially back in 2019. But now Ortiz not gonna get those big paydays anymore, especially at elite level. And he's probably gonna retire, fight longer than he needed to.
as I just said, but people in boxing, they don't really, the egos get involved and people don't make rational choices. I think if it was at that point, I think Ortiz, yeah, he would have had a very good chance of beating Joshua, and he probably would have beaten him. But as I said, people don't really make rational choices sometimes in boxing or in life. As I told you, like right now, Dylan White has been offered 20% to fight Tyson Fury. To me, I think that's a good deal. I'll say take it. So I say it's similar to me because obviously you know I've sparred Tyson Fury before on camera. Dylan White, I've trained in the same gym. We've never sparred, but we've almost sparred. And I'd say the same sort of example with me. If I got the opportunity to spar these guys, or I forget sparring because people might not understand what I'm saying. If I got the opportunity to interview Joshua, Fury, Dylan White, if I got the opportunity to do like a 1 hour interview, I take it. I wouldn't try to negotiate. If they said, yeah, come to Manchester or come to Liverpool or come to Scotland. If it was come to Japan, there's too much, like to fly to another country is too much effort. But if it's come to Scotland or come to Ireland to interview me, we'll let you interview Dylan White for an hour. If it's somewhere like Portugal or Italy, flights are only £30. I'd go. I'd take the opportunity to change my life, because if you gave me like an hour-long interview with these sort of people, a lot of people in boxing would watch it because I'd come with a very different kind of interview, and then I could interview other people because I'd say, look at this interview I did the other day with Joshua. I wouldn't try to mess you. I'll just take it. So I think that's a good example with Dylan White. Like this is the best offer. Like it's the best offer you've ever got. If I was just take it, stop trying to be clever and this and that, because you're missing the opportunity. What do you think of my example? Do you think it makes sense?
Yeah, like it's one life opportunity. Make use of it. And if you make use of it, and if you do well, then the sky's the limit. If Ortiz, like back to Ortiz and Joshua, if Ortiz actually beat Joshua back in 2019, and you probably made maybe 10 million or more, and setting up money for life. But now he did those Joshua fight. Now he's supposed to work beyond he needs to, and it takes him more damage, and he probably does have the money to retire. So, and with White as well, White is potentially the biggest payday against the best heavyweight in the world. If he plays his cards right and beats pulls the upset, this guy's limit. He's the best heavyweight in the world, biggest payday, potentially make 20 million minimum or more in the rematch. Because that fight could be a stadium fight easily. You could do 90,000 Wembley, that fight.
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive in the UK. Massive. But as I said, there's no need for me to talk at length about this. But people don't make rational choices. To me, just take the fight. 20%. You're gonna get more money than you've ever got. It's a massive fight.
Same
Don't
thing
get
with
me wrong.
Wilder. Wilder's apparently was offered, was it 120 million or 50 million, something like that, against Joshua, from Disputed. And then, they kept him, back and forth. Shell Finker offered 50 million, then apparently Eddie Hearn offered them 120 million, 100 million, 50 million per fight, 50 million in the first fight, 50 million in the rematch. Luckily, Wilder made his money with the Tyson trilogy, the Fury trilogy, but Wilder could have been even more richer before AJ from Disputed. And definitely Wilder back then could have knocked AJ out easily. So again, he could have made more money than he would have with Fury by fighting AJ from Disputed.
But people in boxing, they don't. A lot of the time, they're not rational. They've got egos. They don't. People like Eddie Hearn and Shelley Finkel, they try to control everything. So they're not. People don't make rational choices. That's all I can say. And the easiest example, like I say, Dylan White, just take the Fury fight. Like if they said to me, Michael, do you want to come to Manchester to interview Fury for 2 hours? I'll do it. I'll take the day off work, even though it's going to cost me. I was going to say, so I'll do it, because if I get a 2 hour interview with Fury, and we put it out on his Twitter, thousands of people are going to watch it. 50,000, 100,000. It would be a very interesting interview, you know, because I'll come at it from a different angle. I haven't got an ego. If you talk about Kugan Cassius, it's not my place to say I'm a better interviewer than Kugan Cassius. I'm not going to say that. But I'd say him and me are different people. My interview would be it'd be a lot more challenging. It'd be a lot more interesting. I'd ask stuff about drugs. I'd ask stuff about, what's the most interesting thing I could ask Fury? I'd ask him about Daniel Kinahan. So I'm not going to say I'm a better interviewer than Kugan, but I haven't got an ego. But it would be very different watching me. You'd get a very different kind of interview. And in my opinion, a lot of people would watch it in boxing. And then I could start messaging people, hey, Ebony Bridges, hey, Katie Taylor, hey, Anthony Crawler, can I get an interview with you? And people are more likely to say yes, because they're going to know who I am. So that's what I'm saying about Dillian Whyte. Just fight him. Don't get me wrong, I think Fury will beat him, but I don't think it's as one-sided as people think it is. I think he can beat Fury. I think Fury's beaten, he's beaten the same guy now, last 2 years or whatever. He's boxed the same guy. And don't get me wrong, Wilder's quicker and more explosive than Whyte. That doesn't mean Whyte can't beat Fury. I don't think Wilder's got the same toughness, and I'm not saying he's not tough, but he's a different kind of fighter to Whyte. So I think Whyte's got a 30% chance of beating Fury.
What do you think
he's
of
probably going to. Sorry?
What do you think the rumored partly Fury is going to offer Whyte, or made an offer to Whyte, a big offer in Saudi Arabia? Partly one of the Saudi princes has made a huge offer for that fight to be held in Saudi Arabia, the Fury Whyte match. I've heard that apparently it's meant to be a potential big an offer to Whyte to fight Fury in Saudi Arabia.
Well, as I said, I think we've spoken enough about this fight now, but also I don't know anything about that. And all I can say is a massive fight. And if I was Dillian Whyte, just take the fight. It's a winnable fight. I don't think he'll win it, but he can win it. He's got a good chance. And win it, and you're going to become the main man. Why are you, Okay, so if I interview Fury, I said 2 hours. If they gave me, we're going to give you 10 minutes with Fury, I'll take it. Because in 10 minutes, I can ask enough interesting questions where it's different. It's something to watch. But if I get Fury on my channel, I'm sure you'll agree, a lot of people are going to notice that. So I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to say, well, why does Kugan get more time? Yeah, but that's because Kugan's earned it. So when Dillian Whyte's, why does Fury get more money? Yeah, but that's because Fury's earned it. He's beat Klitschko, Wilder. He beat Chisora twice, Chisora, who you struggled with. So just take it and move on with your life.
Also, apparently, Fury's meant to fight on March 26th, but no appointments being announced. So, lastly, do you think any chance that possibly Fury could fight Whyte next in March on the 26th, date? That's been rumored to be Fury's next fight date. I reckon.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. So they want him to fight by end of March. But also, as I said, my guess is as good as yours. If Whyte wants to keep dragging his feet, you're going to get left behind, because they don't need you. Like, they'll just go fight, because that's the way boxing is, isn't it? Yeah. It's like they'll just go fight somebody else. So.
Hopefully, we should have some more news, because is it January 11 when purse bids going to get into place, purse bids. So there should be some type of hopefully some type of more news or conclusions by next week once the purse bids get announced, and we see who's made the big offer in terms of purse bids, and who will it be in BT, will it be on SPN, will it be on the Zone?
I'll be honest, obviously I'm answering your questions because we're having a conversation, but to be honest, I don't really care what they do. Like, if I was to fight him, don't fight him. Last thing I said, like Dillian Whyte, look, you got knocked out by Povetkin recently. If you're too dumb to realize that you can get beaten by anybody, if Povetkin could knock you out, you've got all these people coming up. You've got the Yoka, you've got Martin Bacoli, you've got Huey Fury. Who else can I think of? Hrgovic. I mean, if Povetkin can knock you out, like any of these other guys can beat you. So all right, keep doing what you're doing. If you want to hang around and mess around, but if he loses to somebody else, then that fight is gone for good. And if he loses to somebody else, like I'll say openly, I'll laugh. I'll say, I told you so. Just take the fight, man. Stop taking the mick. Just take it. And the thing is, a lot of fans are turning on White because like stop. I've got no more sympathy for you. I don't want to hear this rubbish about, oh, Dylan White, he hasn't got a title shot for 1,000 days. The opportunity is there. That's like me, like I said, it's like me complaining about if I got the chance to interview Mike Tyson, who's the biggest person in boxing for me to interview. So I'd say it's probably got to be Mike Tyson. So if they said to me, oh, Tyson's busy, we'll let you interview him for 5 minutes, then that's all you've got. That's like me arguing and this and that, and well, I want an hour. Listen, if you offer me 5 minutes with Mike Tyson, I will take the 5. Forget 5 minutes. You offer me 2 minutes, I'll take 2 minutes. Just stop being. And the thing about Kugan, I'm gonna see. This is why I'm a very intelligent guy. So I'm not even intelligent. I'm a very honest person. Kugan has worked hard to get to his position. So, of course, Kugan deserves more access to people than I do. I've got no issue with that. But as time goes on, I'm going to get more and more access. But that's like me saying, oh, yeah, but Kugan gets an hour. Yeah, but he's worked for it. So when you say Tyson Fury gets more money than me, yeah, but Dylan White, you ain't beating nobody. This guy's beaten Klitschko Wilder. He beat Chisora much easier than you did. You're not as credible. Go ask the fans who they take more seriously. Forget boxing fans. The majority of people consider Fury the number one in the world. We don't consider Dylan White the number one. Like, you're just coming off a knockout against Povetkin. You're not like humble yourself. I don't like the word humble. I'm not going to say humble yourself, but be more honest about your place in the pecking order. You got knocked out by Joshua and you got knocked out by Povetkin. So, I've said enough about that fight.
Anyway, back to Ortiz. What do you think of Ortiz denying the ABF eliminated Hrgovic? Luis Ortiz as well as Joseph Parker not fighting Hrgovic for the IBF, final eliminator. What's your opinion about that? Is Hrgovic the bigger man of boxing? Because 100%, I don't think Luis Ortiz to me is the bigger man of boxing like he was before. For me, it seems like our fight is work. Is Hrgovic this boogeyman now? Is he afraid now? Is no one fighting him? Why is nobody fighting him? Because Mike Hunter avoided him, and now it's Luis Ortiz avoided him, and now Joseph Parker is not fighting him for the IBF eliminator.
Do you know what Parker's doing? Is Parker fighting Hrgovic?
No, he's apparently he's not. He's chose not to fight for the IBF eliminator either now.
Okay, I didn't know that. I know about Luis Ortiz not doing it. I'd say in Ortiz's case, I mean, to the best of my knowledge, look, fighters don't really fear fighters, but what was I say? Sometimes they do. But sometimes it could be the team. So I'm guessing they don't think he beats Hrgovic. And for me, I don't really think he's going to beat Hrgovic. I just think it's too much at his age. And as we saw in his last fight, he was getting nailed by Martin. He was just getting schooled, So, yeah, I'm guessing they don't think he can beat Hrgovic. So his team will probably...
The only way it makes sense for me, if Ortiz fights Andy Ruiz for more money, that's the only thing it makes sense to me. If Ortiz doesn't fight Andy Ruiz, I don't see where he goes from now. Yeah.
Neither do I. I just think you're not... He's... I'm not going to say he's too old. It's not the age, but when you look at him physically, but your performance has gone way down. It's not, you're slower, you're getting hit. So it's just going to be difficult for him to beat a lot of these guys. I remember when George Foreman fought Michael Moorer. Michael Moorer was just schooling him. He was beating him up and he was hitting him at will. George Foreman is lucky. To me, it was a lucky shot. It was. Michael Moorer switched off and Foreman was able to land that knockout shot. So I'd say it's the same with Ortiz. If he can nail you with that one shot, he can get you. But then the thing is, with Charles Martin, he probably wasn't expecting that. He probably thought, "Oh, I'm too good. I'm too." But now that people have seen that fight, people are gonna know. Anybody that fights Ortiz, they're gonna know he's slow. I can beat him, but if he can land, if he can nail me with one, he hurt Wilder, he knocked out Martin. People are going to be aware of that shot. So it's going to be difficult to beat people like Hergovich and Parker and. So I can only assume they're just going to try and get Ortiz fights. They're confident he can win.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, if no one fights Hergovich for the IBF eliminator, 100%, should he be elevated to IBF, mandatory? I think he should do. No, no way to fight Hergovich for the IBF eliminated, then they shouldn't be making mandatory for the IBF title. So the winner of AJ and Usyk then should fight Hergovich for the IBF title, 100%. Do you think so?
I agree. I agree. I think it's not his fault if people can't fight him, but just wait till if I can just start once I start meeting some of these people. I interviewed Joseph Parker recently, but yeah, next time I meet Joseph Parker, I want to find out why these lot don't want to fight him. I mean, maybe they're not being offered enough money, because that's something people don't always mention. It could be that. Maybe they're not. Maybe Hergovich's promoter, they're not offering enough money, or maybe they don't think they can beat him. But if people won't fight him, that's not his fault.
Absolutely. Anyways, we shall see. What happens next? We see we shall see what happens with Hergovich. Hopefully, he gets somebody. But you never know. We shall see. Anyways, some sad news in boxing. Unfortunately, Callum Johnson's not fighting Joe Smith anymore. The fight's been cancelled due to Callum getting COVID. You heard about that? Yeah, I watched the Frank Warren interview recently, and unfortunately, Callum Johnson's got COVID. Therefore, he's not fighting him next week.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that fight. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it would have been exciting. Definitely ended up being a knockout. I think Johnson would have beaten Smith, but unfortunately, you won't know now. Hopefully, they'll reschedule it, but we shall see. We shall see. Hopefully. And also, I've heard of Week. Unfortunately retired now, only 26 years old. Week, British, prospect. He's actually retired. He's recently due to, I think, was it a brain scan, or in Week he retired due to a, was it to a brain scan? I've heard of that, Week retiring.
I don't know the reason, but I did see it. I know he's retired, but I don't know why.
Because it was one of my favorite fighters, my prospect. So it's sad that I heard him retire. Were you keen on Week?
Yeah, it was okay. It was a decent fighter. But whatever, I don't know what the reason was, but I'm glad he retired, and I just think it's something boxers can learn from, because sometimes retirement is the best option for you, because not everyone's going to become a Sugar Ray Leonard or an Aaron Pryor. It's not the easiest sport in the world. And you look at David Haye, you look at how many injuries he suffered from. I mean, you look at the David Haye Tony Bellew fights. I don't think anyone believes all this David Haye rubbish he was coming out with about. I'm not going to take any shots at him, but all the stuff he was saying about I'm the new David Haye, I'm version 4.0, 5.0, I'm eating kangaroo meat now, and I'm faster than a speeding bullet. Well, obviously he only took those fights because he was desperate. He needed money. I'm not judging him. I'm not mocking him. And that's just, obviously he's not the only, there's a lot of people in boxing. I think the worst fight of all time, probably Muhammad Ali versus Larry Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just there's a lot of things, or even Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones. I didn't like that fight. Mostly those guys just probably did it for money. So I think sometimes boxers can learn from what Cash Farouk has done. Like, boxing was not for everyone. Like, at some point, it may come to the situation where it's best for you to retire for your own safety. So I'm glad he has, and I hope more boxers learn from this.
Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately, boxing is not for everybody. Some boxers are meant to, have glory. Some boxers are meant to not box, professionally. So unfortunately, some dreams are not meant to be fulfilled, unfortunately. And maybe you can maybe Cash can find a career as a boxing trainer, maybe a promoter, maybe he can still do boxing in other ways.
Well, not a promoter. Promoting's a hard job. I don't think he can do it. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. He can become a trainer. He can become a manager. And I won't say it's unfortunate he's retired. It's not unfortunate, but you just got to be intelligent in life. So you've got to something a lot of people in boxing don't do. You have to accept the truth. And if you've got certain injury, I don't know what it is. If you've got injuries or whatever's happened to him, you should understand I should not get in a boxing ring. And I'll use David Haye as a good example. I mean, if only I wish that David Haye had taken his money, like when he fought Klitschko and he knocked out Chisora and so on, he should have taken that money and said, I'm going to set myself up for life, bought some property, set up a business and so on. He should have never got in the ring with Tony Bellew. Because at the time, listen, everyone knew David Haye's leg was done. Like his leg was like, everyone knew it. That was a rumor going around the gyms and so on. David Haye had gone to Germany, he's gone abroad or something like that to sort his leg out. But you could see it. You could see as soon as the fight started, like you could see something was up with the leg, and especially the rematch. So who's a good example? Let's just say Luis Ortiz. He should not be continuing to fight. He should retire right now, but he's not going to do
The
it.
best example of somebody who fought far too long, other than Will Jones, is to me is Danny Williams. That guy was just honestly, that guy, his career is a tragedy, it's a boxing tragedy. Danny Williams, oh my God, literally, he was fighting. He retired about 2 years ago. Danny Williams, Jesus, he can't even talk properly now. Literally, he should have retired when he lost to Chisora all those years ago. I don't. That's he was so bad. He had to fight abroad. He couldn't get a license in the UK. One stopped promoting him because he knew he was washed out. He thought, the Eastern European country that they'll give you a license to anybody with a pulse.
Yeah, but then the problem. But that's what I'm saying, and I don't need to keep repeating myself or giving different examples. But yeah, Danny Williams is a perfect one. You've taken how many losses now? How many? Yeah, but he's fighting in these countries, but you're getting punched in the heads. You're getting punched, and it's like a lot of these fighters. You need to set yourself up while you're boxing. Because I mean, when he knocked out Mike Tyson, I wasn't old enough, but if you knock out Mike Tyson, it's gonna give you a lot of fame. So I'd at that time try and set up some sort of business. I've heard that he does bodyguarding. Yeah, but try and get some bodyguard, like get some qualifications, like try and become a bodyguard for the celebrities. Well, think about it. How you can say, like, because some of these, like people that have been in the SAS.
Yes.
Have you seen that program? Was it SAS Who Dares Wins?
Is that the one? That's the one Tony Bellew did.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
All right. If you see the guys that were working on that show, these guys were bodyguards for people like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, based on the fact that they were in the SAS, which is, for those of you who don't know, SAS, it's a special forces British military unit. So they're getting the job based on, I used to be in the British Army, I was an SAS soldier. All right, so imagine you're Danny Williams. So imagine you got up to Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie. Yeah, I want to be your bodyguard. So if they say to you, well, why you? Can you imagine if you say, here's a video of me knocking out Mike Tyson? Well, you're telling me he couldn't have got, I've never met him, but a lot of heavyweights, they're physically big people.
Yeah.
So I say physically, he's going to, compared to the people in the SAS program, if you look at Ant Middleton's a small man. He's small. I've never met him, but he's shorter than me. He's more muscular, but he's smaller than me. But someone like Danny Williams, you're about 6 foot or whatever. Like, you're a big dude. You're a heavyweight boxer. You imagine if you go up to these celebrities and you've got all the, like, here's my CV, here's my qualifications, And in terms of like the unique selling point, I knocked out Mike Tyson. Drop the mic.
Yeah,
What you're telling me? You're
that's my
telling
sales
me.
pitch. That's the reason why she's hiring me.
And if I ever meet him, I mean, just you know what? Yeah, you reminded me of this because I don't know how to get in touch with him. But someone needs to try and help this dude turn his life around, like Matchroom or something. Like, try and get him some sort of job as a. Try and help him out. Do something. Like go become a bodyguard to the celebrities or do something. But to keep getting punched in the head, like
Apparently,
come
Danny
on.
Williams, apparently, there's two things. Apparently, the reason why he continued fighting, despite him being seriously washed up, it was because he needed the money to pay for his kids' private school. That's the only way he
I heard
could,
about that.
yeah. And apparently, he did retire, and one of his friends set up a GoFundMe page for him to help him, help him, fund his retirement, funds. But again, I guess he didn't make enough. Well, he must probably took advantage of probably blew his money he made off. He fought retire as well for the heavyweight title. Did he not as well?
Yes, yes.
Probably didn't spend it right, or probably got took advantage of by promoters or Warren, or because he has some paydays. With the Tyson win and also the quick show, title shots. So
Well, all I say quickly, I'm going to do my best to try and get in touch with him ASAP. And when next time I meet people like Eddie Hearn, I'm going to talk to them about him. Yeah, but just because you make money, there's a difference between making money and keeping money. And
absolutely,
a lot of boxers, but they just don't come across as they're very easy to manipulate. And then you got all these people that you pay for this and that. And I'll tell you one of the most useless jobs in boxing. You know, these publicists, these people that arrange interviews for fighters,
yeah,
publicists.
yes,
For me, I think that's the most useless job in boxing. But then it's like thing is you're paying these people, and that's the problem. So it's got things like that is draining your money. Then you've got, I mean, I don't know Danny Williams' career is before my time, but a lot of fighters that I see, but you've got too many people
yeah,
around you.
big
You've got too many
entourages.
trainers. You got Josh was the perfect example. Like you got all these people around you.
Yeah,
I'll
hanging
keep it
on.
short. I remember we were at I was at the gym recently. It's a non-boxing gym, and it's got like sauna, steam room, and I was talking with some of the other guys, and we were talking about Joshua Usyk, and it's like you've got all these people around you, and this guy and this guy and that guy, but at the end of the day, the conversation we had about Joshua, when you watch the Usyk fight, and I'd say this to Joshua's face, you bottled it. Like it's not that big a deal. Like you just I don't want to hear this rubbish. Well, you got to talk to my dude. Yeah, like when you were getting punched up by Usyk, like you just didn't want to know. Listen, I know the feeling. I sparred Kell Brook. I didn't want to know. I landed a couple of shots on Kell Brook. Those were not my best shots. I was holding back. I said to myself, it's like I was so nervous of getting. I was so nervous of getting hit. I was, you know, it's not. If it was someone else, if it was someone more my level, you'd see me throwing my best shots. But against Kell Brook, I thought any minute now he might hit me in the head, And when he started punching me in the body, listen, he did not knock me out. I could have continued, but I just thought, he just took the fight out of me. No, I mean, he could have knocked me out if he wanted to, but when he dropped me, I'd say I was about 60% finished. I could have continued, but I just thought he's not playing around now. He dropped me once. I got up. He started going harder. I thought he's just going to keep going. He's not going to let me last. I know that. So I just thought, he took the fight out of me. So this is what I'm saying about Joshua. It's the same thing. I'm not mocking you. I'm not laughing at you. I think he's still a world-class fighter. But, don't give us all this rubbish about, I'm going to train with Mayweather now. And this. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you just didn't want to know. The guy took the fight out of you. And,
Yeah, yeah,
but but the point I'm making, but you've got all these people around you, but they can't turn. You don't need that many people. Like he hasn't got the same fire that Muhammad Ali had or George Foreman. So that's something you need to work on as a person. Yeah, you don't need 10 people. Just have 4 people in your corner at most. But you got this guy, that guy. You got Robert Smith. You got what's his name? You got what's his name, Angel Fernandez. You got all these different people. You got sports scientists, but sports scientists they can't turn you into a fighter. If you know who James Ali Bashir is.
Yes.
If you just have one James Ali Bashir, that guy can train you. You don't need all these different because they don't know box. Because at the end of the day, you didn't want to know. Okay, it's a lot like when we look at the Joshua fight with Usyk. Look at what happened in the last round. You're sitting on the ropes getting punched up by Usyk, and you're lucky. And to me, I would say 99%. I'll say Usyk was holding back.
Yeah.
He was holding back because when I spar Kell Brook, listen, Kell, it's the same. I'm not arrogant. I'm not saying I'm in Joshua's league, but I'm entitled to give an opinion. And when I spar Kell Brook, it's the same principle. Kell Brook was clearly holding back. In my opinion, I think Usyk was holding back because if you knock him out, you make less money in the rematch. So I'm saying it's like you're standing on the ropes, just taking punches, you're sticking your tongue out. But it's like you're lucky you didn't get finished off. You're lucky. You know what I mean? It's like, there was times in that fight where Joshua got hurt. We've seen him get knocked out we've seen him get dropped by Klitschko. We've seen him get knocked out by Ruiz. You're lucky you didn't get finished off. And again, all I'm saying, you've got all these people around you, but you ain't got the same fire as Muhammad Ali. So you didn't have that fire to fight back. And I'm gonna, you went into survival mode. So all I'm trying to get at, having a big team around you, it's a waste of money and time. They can't make you fight. They can't. But yeah, they can get you fit or whatever. But at a certain point, there's only so. All people can do for you, they can add 1% here, 2% here, 5%. They can add something, but you need to be bringing most of it to the table. Like take you, if you trained with whoever for the next 2 years, his trainer Robert McCracken. So I think I said Robert Smith earlier. I meant to say Robert McCracken. If Robert McCracken trained you for the next 2 years, or if Dominic Ingle trained you for the next 2 years, you're going to become much better, obviously. But you're never going to win a world title. You're never going to become good enough. And this is what people in boxing you need to be the one bringing most of it to the table. You need to bring the talent, bring the fire, and people can work with that. But anyway, I've gone on long enough. Don't waste your money on all these useless people. That's what I'm saying.
The train situation, is he wasting his time trying spar with Alex Coley and go to Eddie Reynoso and then one his shields and moving around, training, he's wasting his time.
Yeah, of course he's wasting his time. Because as I said, I'll keep it as short as I can. And so tell me what you think. Don't just let me dominate. When he was on the ropes against Usyk, it's like, yeah, but you bowled it. Like I'll say it to your face. I'm not disrespecting you, but they can't help you in that regard. They can't help you. Like you're running from this guy to that guy to this guy to that guy. But go look at some of these classic fights. Go look at forget classic fights. Look at Fury Wilder. Both those guys were getting dropped. Yeah. But when they got dropped, they will get off the canvas with fire. They come back to fight. Yes. Pacquiao. You remember when Pacquiao dropped, what was his name? Marquez. Yeah. He dropped him. So I'm saying it's not but again, it's not people act as if boxing's a secret, or they say, what's the secret to success? There is no secret to success. Stop saying, what's the secret? There's no Joshua, you haven't got the fire. To me, I think he could have beaten Usyk that night. Yeah, definitely. But you weren't fighting with that fire. Like with me and Kell Brook. I'm not saying I was never gonna beat him. I'm not saying that. But when he dropped me, I could have got up off the canvas. The first one, I got up. But when I got up, I thought, I tell you what was going through my head. When I got back up, I thought, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. That's what was going through my mind. I could have got up and said, you know what, Kell Brook? I don't, even if you hurt, I could have come back with fire. I could have come swinging, and I'd have probably landed some shots. And I guarantee you, I'm not exaggerating, but the people watching would have been like, "Oh, Michael's
Yeah, back
trying,"
yeah, back from the dead.
and a lot,
back to business.
and it's the same for the people watching. You'd watch that and you'd say, "Hey, this kid's got guts." But I would have probably landed one shot. But I didn't get up with that intention. What was I doing? I was running. If it was again, if I sparred him again, I'd say, screw it. I'm going to plant my feet. And if I get punched, I get punched. He's not going to knock me out. Like, he's not, I'm relatively safe. But I try and set my feet and I say, I'm going to try and do something. So
I don't think Joshua believes in himself. I think Josh is very mentally fragile. I think Joshua doesn't believe he can beat Usyk. Really, he's just doing that probably, please Eddie Hearn, and just doing that out of pride. I just think he's mentally fragile. I just don't think he believes in himself.
He is. But it's like, look, you just didn't show the fire on that night. I'm not saying you can't win. Maybe you can win. Don't get me, I don't think you can win. And if you're fighting him in your next fight, very unlikely.
I'll see now. I don't think now. The whole training situation, his interview as well, he looks lost. Joshua's lost now. Looks lost. AJ's lost. He's lost.
Look, you're just but all this. Look, I don't want to keep talking about the same subject, but it's just so stupid to all this cringeworthiness, running to this guy, running to that guy, but they won't be able to. They can't do anything for you because you yourself. And I think you've got the ability. I think he could have beaten Usyk that night, but you ain't willing to come with that fire. You ain't willing. Okay, it's like some people are talkers. You put me in front of an audience, I can talk. But you take the example I always keep using is Katie Taylor. Like, look at the way she talks on. Can you imagine if I accomplished what Katie Taylor had accomplished? You imagine the way I talk at press conference. I tell everybody, like, I'm a polite person. I think maybe I am a bit arrogant, but I'm a very polite. But if I was at a top table, like, boy, I'd be polite to my opponents, but I'll tell them. I'll say, like, you're not on my level. Like, look at what I've achieved. You're going to get knocked out.
You'll be a showstopper. You're still in show. Smooth.
I'm saying, I'm not judging. I'll explain where I'm going with this. Katie Taylor's not a talker. Like, Eddie Hearn's an excellent talker. So what I'm trying to get at, you're either a talker or you're not. Someone can't turn you into a talker. So, and this is what I'm saying about Joshua. Look, he's a good fighter. You respect his accomplishments, but all fighters have got weaknesses. Muhammad Ali, they all had weaknesses. But one of Joshua's weaknesses, when you come under fire, it's like Mike Tyson. He never won a fight that he was losing. And with Joshua, you just mentally, you can't. Who's a good example? It's like, and you can who would you say someone, if you knock them down, they'll get back up with fire? Who would you say is an example?
Dr.
Okay, or take someone like Arturo Gatti or Ward fights, and that's just something Joshua needs to.
Dylan White will come back with fire. White has a fire that Joshua lacks. Has that fire in his belly. I the tiger.
That's and look, I'm not judging him, and look, no fighter is going to be perfect, and that's something fans and the boxing world is very stupid about. Like, look, no fighter is going to be perfect. You're always going to have weaknesses. Even you and me doing what we do on YouTube, we're both going to have weaknesses, and we're going to have strengths and weaknesses in what we do. Of course, so I'm not asking for Joshua to be perfect, but I can see that you're weak in that area. And I just don't blame other people, like running to this guy, running to that. All right, do what you want. But to me, it looks very stupid because we're in January. You've got you've got very little time. And instead of just sitting down and training, you're running from this guy to that guy. And then you're getting Floyd Mayweather to watch you hit the heavy bag. What's Floyd going to tell you?
Floyd's a welterweight. How can he help? He's a welterweight. Is he going to tell you to be mentally strong or something?
Like, it's not. You're not. But that's something as a man. Like, you shouldn't need other people to tell. You should know this for yourself. Just say that I bottled it. Yeah, straight talk here. Don't use all these big words. You bottled it. It's like when I sparred Kell Brook. I'm not gonna tell anybody. I wasn't injured. I wasn't. And the shots he hit me with, they weren't the hardest shots. I bottled it because I said I felt the shots and I thought he might hit me harder. You know what I mean? But that's what I was scared. But he didn't hurt me that bad. I'm not saying that. Believe me when I'm saying I could have fought him aggressively. I
Yeah.
chose not to because I was.
Like in my heart, I believe Sean Saunders quit against Canelo. I don't think he wanted to continue. I think he bottled it. I was telling him to his face on that. I think Saunders quit against Canelo. Do you think when he fought Canelo, when he stopped? It's despite what Mark Tibbs or what's his name, but those who say he was top of the fight. I think he didn't want to continue. Saunders, I honestly didn't think he wanted to continue.
He didn't. Well, it's just look. Anybody. It's easy when you're the one landing shots, but obviously when you're getting hit back, well, he didn't want to continue. I'm not judging him, and he got hit with that shot against. He got hit with that shot against Canelo, and he didn't want to know. So
The
I'm not
boxers are
judging
human
if you
beings
like.
as well. Boxers are people say boxing are warriors, are gladiators. They are, but the human beings as well. They have their limits. We human beings have the limits. Some people will fight to death. Some boxers won't fight to death, and Paul Age is probably one of those fighters that doesn't want to fight to the death, and same with
No, he's not. He's not. Yeah, sorry to jump in. Yeah, he's not someone that will fight to the death.
I just
But
got
I think we said.
Anyway,
Sorry, go on.
I'm speaking about Mayweather. What's your opinion? I talked about this. Apparently, not Jake Paul, Logan Paul has been paid by the Mayweather fight. Mayweather hasn't paid him yet. Apparently, Mayweather owes Logan Paul, is it $5 million? For the last year's exhibition fight. What do you think of the whole Mayweather situation, not paying Logan Paul and Logan Paul's possibly suing him, and because that fight was back in June last year, so it's been over 6 months, and apparently Logan Paul hasn't been paid a penny. So what do you think of the whole Mayweather? Is he going broke? Is his promotions not making any money? What's going on? Also,
Yeah,
apparently
I've
Mayweather
seen.
hasn't been paid by Al Haymon. Al Haymon owes Mayweather millions as
Does he?
well. And
I've
also as
seen.
well, with Mayweather, so to put in, apparently the reason why Mayweather was mad at Canelo for beating Killer Plant is because that 50 million that I haven't paid Canelo for fighting on PBC, Mayweather hasn't got any money out of that. Apparently Mayweather's a shareholder of PBC or something like that. So Mayweather is mad at Canelo as well as Al Haymon for not getting paid his royalties and that.
I'll keep it very short. I've seen the comments by Logan Paul. All I can say, if you haven't been paid, then obviously take legal action. Yeah, But the thing about boxing, I don't know, it's all smoke and mirrors. A lot of the time, I remember I saw a documentary by they had a gangster rap documentary, and you had people like 50 Cent and so on. They were talking about rappers, and they said a lot of rappers are not as rich as you think they are, because a lot of stuff you see is rented or whatever. I say about Mayweather, I don't know. I mean, I'm just talking from common sense. I haven't got any inside knowledge. He might have made a lot of money, but then it's not as much money as people think, because then you've got people on the payroll.
But
The
taxes,
trainer takes, yeah, I mean, but you've got all these people around Mayweather. Yeah, but these are adults, and adults have got living costs. They've got to fill up their cars with petrol. They've got kids, and so these guys are all getting paid. These guys are all draining away. You got Mayweather. You always see him with those big 4 or 5 bodyguards. These guys are going to be getting paid. Then you're flying them around to other
yeah,
countries,
he's
so
got
they're getting
private
paid.
jets as well. Yeah.
Then you got Mayweather, all this gambling rubbish. To be honest, I think Mayweather's. I personally don't think he's as rich as people think he. I think um, I think money wise, he's not doing too good.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I
so
also Mayweather's fighting in
yeah,
Dubai exhibition. I think 12th of February in Dubai. So Mayweather's again is fighting again exhibition
I
in
saw that.
February for some type of promotional deal with some Saudi princes. So I wonder what Mayweather's doing with as far as promotional goes. Because I don't think what is he doing with promotion? TNT promotion not doing anything. Is the last is price fighter with Tang. He didn't do enough buys with that Isaac Cruz fight. I thought that fight flopped. Only did 100 1,000 pay-per-view fight. So So Mayweather's not making much money off his promotional deal. So what's he actually making money off? Is his strip club? Is his TMT clothing line? Where's his maybe making real estate? So but maybe he's got a point there. Maybe he's not making as much money as he thinks. He's definitely not off TMT. That promotion company's not going nowhere.
But yeah, just common sense. Do you remember when he bought a car for $5 million?
Yeah, I think it's a Bugatti. Yeah.
So then you're doing stuff like that. Then you've got all the watches. To me, it doesn't come across as the most intelligent person. And when you've got all these watches that are, I can't remember, I don't know, but you've got all these watches that are like 10 grand or 50 grand each. The money's going to drain away quick. So yeah, Timmons, I don't think he's doing well financially. I heard about the exhibition he's fighting again, but even these exhibitions, I mean, take Logan Paul. Like I said, I've got no inside knowledge, but I mean, how do we know it was a successful fight? I mean, I don't know what the pay-per-view was, but again, but I don't really trust. Well, they might say it's 1 million buys, but I don't know. I'm not sure that I believe it. People in boxing lie. There's no way of checking. I mean, who knows? Maybe it did very badly on the pay-per-view. I think Tank Davis did badly on pay-per-view, and yeah, it's just something people don't get. Where don't want to go on about at length, but boxing's more complicated than people think it is. And if Al Heyman hasn't paid him, but then that's another problem, because now you're going to have to take Al Heyman to court, and how much money is that going to cost? How long is it going to How long is it going to take you? And to me, Al Heyman's much more intelligent than Mayweather. So if that is the case where Al Heyman hasn't paid you, to me, that's a mismatch in terms of intelligence. So Al Heyman's going to mess, like, I don't know. You're the first one to tell me that. But if you're going to try, if Mayweather's going to try and take on Al Heyman in terms of brains, I feel sorry for him, because he might be a clever boxer, but as a person, he's not intelligent. I mean, if it's true that he can't even read, you've got no college qualification, and you're going to take on someone who's been to Harvard. So Heyman's going to drag it out, and he's going to do this, and he's going to do that. So if that's true, you're going to be suffering there.
I guess it's true. Maybe 50% was right when they fell up. Maybe 50% is right. Maybe Mayweather's not as clever as I was thinking, especially with money. Mayweather, he likes to make money. He blows the money. He makes the money. He blows the money. He makes the money. Blows the money. No long-term investments. So he just very fast. That's lived a high life, but very fast paced. Doesn't know how to manage his money. He always comes out with time to do these exhibition fights. McGregor and the Japanese guy and Logan Paul and so on and so on.
All I'll say quickly about 50, but look, we live in a very celebrity-obsessed society where people think they go crazy for celebrities. But people don't understand, a lot of celebrities are dumb. Like, they do silly things. Okay, even, I don't mean to get personal, but if you look at Mayweather's situation with his ex-wife or whatever, in my opinion, I think he did use some sort of violence, because if your own kids are testifying against you, I think he did use some sort of violence. I mean this with all due respect. And also, I know it's none of my business, but as an example, but for someone in that position to use violence against a woman, I mean, look, you're a boxer, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know even if she tried to punch you, like, you're Floyd Mayweather, use the shoulder roll, so you're wait here to give it, so I thought the connection went. So I'm saying it wasn't a wise decision, and then he ended up going to prison for that. If I was in Floyd's position, I wouldn't really hit a woman, because I got too much to lose. The only way I'd do it, unless you came at me with a knife or something, because in that case I could justify it in court. But if I was in this position, you wouldn't get me on my own. I'll just make sure that I've got police bodyguards. So if a woman tried coming at me, I say I'll get my police bodyguards to sort her out. Sometimes he doesn't make the best decisions, Don't mean you're an intelligent, just because you're very, very good at a sport, it doesn't mean you necessarily understand business. So yeah, I just think he's not as rich as people think he is. And I remember when someone stole something from him. I'm trying to remember. He left something in his house. What was it, jewelry, or was it a large amount of cash? And it's the last thing I'll say about Mayweather. But I never liked when he was all that stuff he was doing, taking around bags of cash. That's stupid. That's just dumb.
Yeah, him and Adrian Bona. Yeah.
Like, why are you carrying around bags of cash? But what happens if one of your team just when you're not looking, they manage to
Oh,
just slip their hand and take $1,000?
oh, yeah.
How are you gonna
Remember?
know?
Oh, don't get me started about flashing. Remember when Adrian Bona when he threw down with $100 for the toilet? Oh my God, Jesus! He
Oh,
told.
I don't really want to talk. That's disgusting. But look at you now. You're struggling. You know, listen. I hope he goes broke. I'll say it to your face because you make these silly choices, and now you're struggling. Now you got this monster called Conor Ben. Listen, I'll get in the ring with Conor Ben. That's not an issue because he's going to go easy on me. But if you get in the ring with Conor Ben, you know he's not going to go easy on you. You know, I mean, how much money is going to be in the fight, really? And I forgot to mention this. The other thing I forgot was taxes. So with Adrian Bona, if you fight Conor Ben, you got the trainer, the manager, Al Heyman. These guys are going to take their money, but then you got the taxes. The American taxes.
AJ Bowen will never be financial. Unless he wins lottery. I don't think AJ Bowen's washed it. First of all, and AJ
No,
Bowen's got like 6, 7 kids. He's got a lot
no,
of kids involved. So Bowen will never be rich again. And he's done. He will never. Bowen will always. I think until he's washed up, till he can no longer physically box anymore. He's always going to be out of boxing because he got 7 kids or eight baby mamas. I don't know. Bonus, but Bonus another, wasted opportunity. Wasted his prime year trying to be next Mayweather, lose money, and the rest is history.
Well, yeah, you said it all. I was just about to mention the kids, but then you've got all those kids. Where are you going to get the money? Because I don't think you can beat Conor Ben, But a lot of boxers make dumb choices, so do what you want, But long term, I mean, his boxing career, Broner's boxing career, like you're running out of time. You're running out of time, and well, we'll see what happens. But I've said enough about
But
him.
anyways, enough of Bone, enough of him. Anyways, what do you think of? Were you surprised about Josh Warrington fighting Kiko Martinez now for his IBF title in March 26th? To be confirmed now. So it looks like Kid Galahad not getting his rematch now, and Josh Warrington is taking Martinez instead. What do you think of that?
No, of course, I'm not surprised. To be honest, I guessed it. I didn't do a video.
You don't think Martinez? I thought even though the issue was making weight, I thought just out of pride that to just avenge his loss that Galahad will take the rematch, exercise his rematch clause and take Martinez in the rematch. But I guess not. I guess Warrington is stepping instead and fight Martinez for his IBF title, the title that he vacated because he didn't want to fight Galahad for the rematch. So interesting, turning events.
I mean, it could be anything. So I didn't know that. So are you saying that Galahad turned down the rematch?
Yeah, and Josh Warrington is fighting now Martinez for his IBF title on March 26th in Leeds.
I can only guess if Galahad's turned it down. I don't think he's scared of him because this is what a lot of fans will say. Because he was winning the fight easy.
Yeah,
it's just that he got caught. I don't think he's scared of him. I just assume it's just most likely it's got to be weight issue because a lot of boxers drain themselves. A lot of boxers are coming down in weight, so that's the only logical explanation. But I could have predicted. Warrington's going to fight him because I think Warrington's a big ticket seller. It's about making money, and they need. I don't think Warrington can beat that Lara. And they need some sort of way to make Warrington relevant again because it's business. He does big numbers in Leeds. So I'm going to do my absolute best. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I guarantee I'm going to go to that fight. I'll be there. I'm going to be at Warrington Martinez. I haven't been to a matchroom fight in years. I could have gone to the Derek Chisora Parker rematch, but I just thought money wise.
I tell you what, Michael. Why not go to? Well, let's go. Let us go together, Warrington and Martinez and March. Let's arrange a trip together. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but make the partnership, make the dream team.
Absolutely, let's do it, man. I'll definitely let's do it, man. Let's do it. Either that, or at least, or go to the Karen Book fight, or both. Let's do it.
Can't book. I don't see can't book. I don't see us getting us. I haven't got £800 for a ticket.
okay. But I'm
I
sure
pay 100.
yeah, but the Warrington and Matthias fight were a lot cheaper. We were a lot cheaper. They're not as high profile as Karen Brooks. So those that fight would be much
Yeah,
cheaper,
let's
more
go, man.
affordable.
We'll make a journey out of it, and
Anyway.
I should, yeah, I should be able to get into the press conference for
And
that. You know,
apparently, according to Adi Alado apparently the Warrington fight is a very good atmosphere. It's meant to be amazing, electric Warrington fights. These fans are hardcore, so it should be a good night out. Seeing Warrington. These fans are meant to be, some of the the most hardcore fans out there.
well, yeah, that's just what a lot of boxers don't get. You know, you need to have a following. It's just as business. It's about how many tickets you can do. You know, and when you've got a following, and obviously it creates atmosphere.
Absolutely. Anyway, so apparently Eubank is fighting Williams now. Originally meant to be January the 29th, but it's been obviously delayed because of COVID situation and boxing being banned in Britain. Apparently it's been rescheduled February the 5th. So hopefully that will go according to plan, but we shall see. We shall see if that fight still takes place on February the 5th. Also, what do you think of Josh Wright fighting Danny Jacobs on February the 12th in London?
Yeah, it's a good fight. I think Daniel Jacobs is going to win. But I mean, look, you got to try. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their opinion. So like it doesn't. My opinion is just another opinion. I'm not saying he can't win, but John Ryder, it's up to him to. This is your opportunity. And obviously, I'm not saying you can't win. I mean, do what you need to do in training.
Do you think Danny Jacobs
Yeah, go on.
possibly passed it as well? Because he looked terrible against Gabriel Rosado. Yeah, I think to be honest, he probably lost that fight in my opinion. It was a close fight, but I don't think
Yeah,
he.
I thought so. Yeah, I thought. But again, it's not the thing about boxing, though. I won't say he's necessarily past it, but it's like I mean, you have good performances and bad performances. I
Okay.
remember Arsenal. I remember when they went 49 games unbeaten. You remember that?
Yes.
And what's like if you look at Manchester United recently, people say Cristiano Ronaldo is the best player in the world, or it's between him and Messi. But then his performances at Manchester haven't been the best. It doesn't mean he's not still a world-class player, but just sometimes it's just the way things work out. So Danny Jacobs lost to Rosado. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, maybe Rosado is better than people realize. Maybe he came with a good game plan. He was strong. He was fit. There's one thing funny that there's this guy that we both know. I'm going to quote him on this. I think you know who I'm talking about. Maybe Rosado was eating kangaroo meat faster than a speeding bullet, you know.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Okay. Possibly, yeah.
but Porky's Corner says that a lot, doesn't he? So I
So
mean, look, you might get two guys that are Danny Jacobs is on a different level to Rosado, but if Rosado came for that fight, fit, strong, been doing 50 chin-ups a day, been sparring 20 rounds a day, then obviously you're going to put up a great performance. So I think Danny Jacobs is still a good fighter, and it's up to John Ryder now. Here's your opportunity, take it.
anyway, we shall see. We shall see. We shall hopefully Ryder. I want Ryder to win because I think Ryder deserves it. He's a breakout fight because to be honest, he did beat Callum Smith and he got robbed. So I think definitely John Ryder deserves a breakout fight to put him on the back of the map because he got robbed against the title against Smith. Hopefully Ryder does does something special, but we shall see. We shall see. Also, Jamel Charles is fighting Brian Castano for undisputed light middle championship back on March the 19th. Um, are you fan of Charles? What's your opinion on Charles brothers? Do you think they're good fighters? Do you think they're overrated, or are you into the Charles brothers?
Yeah, I think they're good fighters. I mean, they're both. I mean, yeah, he's very strong. He can punch. He's a tough fighter.
Who they're beating though? The Charles brothers are meant to be really good, but who they're beating them knows who they're actually beating. That wow, this is these are elite fighters. I feel a world class fight, but are they really elite? Who they've actually beaten? Either, but
I would say though, but the problem with boxing, it's not. when people say that, but the thing is, it's very complicated to get fights to happen.
Yeah, because of the
So
politics and this promote,
if
that
you look
promote,
at
they work each other. Yeah.
Fury versus White as an example, it's difficult to get fights to happen. So when people say who a fighter's beaten that's elite, it's not really the fighters that are to blame. Because when you're growing up, it's like you're trying to do your thing on YouTube, and so am I. So your goal is, I want to interview the biggest names. But it depends if you can get access to them or not. And if you can't, it's not on you. It's because it's hard to get access to them. So I say, so the thing about Charlo's, listen, to me, they'll fight guys, but it's whether the teams and so
Yeah,
on can get them
to me,
decent.
that potential, but unproven to me in terms of resume.
I think they're good fighters. And yeah, I
They're
agree,
good
but
fighters. I'm not saying they're elite. I don't think on like Canelo or Fury's level, or Josh Taylor's level. I think they're good fighters, but to me, it's still unproven. The world class, but not elite, in my opinion, because they haven't proven themselves to be elite. They haven't fought anybody. They haven't fought Canelo. They haven't fought Andrade. They haven't fought Golovkin. They haven't fought any of these
I,
names.
I think they would fight them, but in my opinion, I just think it's just to do with whether they're going to get the opportunity to. It's more business. It's not really because you don't see. I think they're with Al Heyman, aren't they? But you don't really see Al Heyman pushing for. I want to get you in with Golovkin. I want to get you in with. I want to get you in with Andrade. And I mean, Al Heyman don't even want to talk to Eddie Hearn. Like, what kind of nonsense is that? Because to me, obviously, in terms of what I'm trying to do in boxing, I've got no problem talking and working with people like I was in touch with Steve Goodwin the other day.
Yes.
So I've been talking to Steve Goodwin. He said January he's busy, but he's gonna next month. Him and me are gonna do an interview together, and it's gonna be very interesting to watch because I'm gonna tell him I've got plans in boxing. I want to work in boxing. I want to work with some of your fighters. And I'm going to say to him, what's your advice? Like, what do I have to do? I want to get a British Boxing Border Control license. I want to go to college. I want to go to university, and I want to hear what he's got to say. For me, I'll talk to any of these people. Like,
Yeah,
apart from
he'd be a good guy to into because he's meant to be from what I've heard and researched. He's not a financial advisor, some type of financial
yes,
guy.
yes, yes.
He's meant to be a very intelligent guy. Goodwin, Steve Goodwin, to be very.
No, he is.
I mean,
Look, what I'm saying, I've got no problem working with Goodwin. I've got no problem working with Heyman. I've got no problem working with Bob Arum. But going back to what you're talking about, but Al Heyman doesn't even want to talk to Eddie Hearn. So it's not really the Charlo's fault because if he won't even talk to another promoter,
yeah, I agree, definitely.
I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? Like, that's ridiculous. What kind of nonsense is that? And the problem is, I'll say it quickly. The problem with boxing, they've got too much power. Like, you shouldn't be able to, because in football, the team managers, they can't stop matches from happening. It's
Yeah,
like the
because
match
on the
gets
one
the
band is on the Premiership,
yeah,
the back is
yeah, you
Premier League,
can't
one league. Everybody has to follow the same rules. Whereas boxing is there's like 10 different promoters.
And then the thing is, as you've seen with this Leonard Ellaby and Hearn, the problem is, if you don't like Eddie Hearn, that's up to you. That's your opinion. Same with me. If someone said they don't like me, I don't really care. Like if Leonard Ellaby said he's going to punch me when he sees me, all right, I'll come up to punch me then.
I think you're too quick, Freddie. I think you're too quick and slick. You probably just do the Mayweather shoulder roll and just bounce around.
Exactly. But I'll be nice. Like I don't really want to go around punching 60-year-old men. So if he was saying, I'd go up to him. I said, well, what's the problem? Isn't it? Like, why do you want to hit me? But the problem is, what happens with these people? They stop fights from happening. That's the problem. Like if you don't like someone, that's up to you. But then the problem where they stop fights from happening. So going back to what you said, I give the Charlos the benefit of the doubt because but why would they not fight these? Like you, if you got the chance to interview Joshua, you would. So to them, if you do you train? Do you do anything? Any lifting weights or anything?
Yeah, I go to the gym. Yeah, I'm a gym rat. I lift weights. Yeah.
But again, but it's like I'm not saying you have to be a fighter, but when you're lifting weights, don't you try to lift as much as possible?
Yeah. Try and improve my strength as well as my muscle gains.
So what I'm saying, and remember, like you're not. I'm not looking down on you, but so have you ever boxed?
I sparred. I think I told you this. I sparred. You know, a few amateurs. No, never boxed professionally or no, did you know amateur boxing. I've done sparring.
Okay, so I'll explain where I'm going with this. I'm not looking down on you, and I'm definitely not saying you need to be a fighter to understand what I'm saying. But when you see people like you or these fans who don't box, you're not really, you can't see it from a boxer's point of view. And what I mean is, I'm not going to say anything patronizing, but the Charlos have boxed how many times amateur? Yeah, you know, you've boxed amateur, you keep going up the levels. You've had pro fights. Da, 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 da. So when you say, yeah, would you fight Golovkin? At the end of the day, Golovkin's just another man. Like they're not. Why would they be scared? Like take me. So I'm not. It's the same narrative. Like I've been in the ring with Kell Brook. I've been in the ring with Tyson Fury, Kelly Pavlik, Brandon Rios. Like, would I spar Golovkin if that opportunity came up? Yes, I would. Would I spar the Charlos? I'd spar them, but I'd say those guys come across as more, especially I don't know which one he is. He's more intimidating than, say, in my opinion, if I spar Golovkin, I think Golovkin's a nice guy and he's not going to take the mick. With the Charlos, I'd spar them, but you can best believe I'll make sure that the trainer's in the gym and I'll say to him,
Yeah.
I'll genuinely say to him, like,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
yeah, look, I trust you, yeah, but can I trust the Charlos not to knock me out? But who knows? I don't know. I'm sure they're nice enough. Like if I just say to them politely, like if I say to Charlo, like I'll spy you, but just try not to kill me. Like let's just do a bit of film for the. But I'd get in there. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's what I'm saying. They'll get in there, but it's not. It's not a boxer's fault if fights aren't happening. That's not their. You know what I mean? They're not the ones setting fights up. They're not the ones with the financial power, the network. Like Al Heyman is. But unfortunately, Al Heyman, he's not gonna. He doesn't like doing interviews, you know.
Yeah. Fortunately, I know it's not all the boxers' fault. I just wish boxers would stand up for themselves and just fight. You know, the best fights in in the division. And
No,
so,
no, but you can't. It's not. I'm not. I'll keep it short. I don't think I'm defending them too much. I'm not saying there's not more you can do, but it's not. The way it is basically, ultimately, the promoter has to decide. They've got the power to decide if I'm putting you in the ring with him. It's as simple as that. So they're just people, and the thing is, they'll mess you around. They'll say something like, "Oh, Golovkin's asking for too much money," or whatever it is, you know. But like, just look at the fact. Okay, I'll keep it short. Leonard Ellaby said that I'm gonna punch Eddie Hearn when I see him. All right. If you look at the way people have reacted to that comment, I'm probably the only person. If I saw Leonard Ellaby, I'd sit him down and I try and talk some sense into him. But other people aren't doing it. They're saying, it's, oh yeah, Leonard did it like seconds out or whatever. Like, yeah, are you gonna fight Eddie Hearn? Like, I just think it's silly. And you don't hear fighters, as far as I'm aware, but you don't hear them challenge Leonard Ellaby. Because if you're making silly comments, or someone like Tank Davis, you should put Leonard Ellaby in his place. Like, you're not a fighter. I tell you, like Leonard, you're not a fighter. And the problem is he's messing things up for you because Eddie Hearn's got Devin Haney. He's got I don't know if he's worked as he no. He had Lopez, and I don't know if he's got what I'm trying to say. I don't know if he's got Cambosis now.
he also had Tevin Farmer for a bit, but I think he left now to work with MGK. He had Tevin Farmer because Tevin Farmer was always trying to get a fight with Tank Davis back in the day as well.
But this is what I'm trying to say. It's not really the boxers that can set fights up, and then the people that can set fights up, they've all got these all little agendas and so on. And I mean, I've already said it, but for him to say I'm gonna punch Eddie Hearn when I see it, yeah, but Eddie Hearn ain't gonna stand there and let you do it, is he? And like I said, it's not as if it's gonna be easy. Eddie Hearn's much younger and he's much bigger. So all right, go up to him and punch him if you want.
One fight I want to happen. It should have happened, but I want to happen because I'm a bit of a loon when it comes to boxing. Mickey Fury versus Big John Fury.
Fury.
Yeah, For some reason, I want that fight to happen. It won't happen, but I want it to happen. I just know. I think there's to be fireworks. The press conference probably be the best thing of the fight. The whole build up, the press conference. Imagine those two: John Fury, Mickey Theo, Porky's Corner, Tyson Fury, Shane Fury. Oh my God, it would be mayhem. That'd be a press conference to entertain. That'd be a press conference of a lifetime. Oh my God, you need security. You need probably you need some SES bodyguards in that conference because it's gonna be electric. I
And
wonder
then
who's gonna put punch.
you can add Dean White and myself. Dean White can promote it, and then I could spar everybody. Yeah, that would be funny.
Oh
But
my
it's
God.
not. Yeah, it's not gonna happen though.
That'd be a promoter stream. Oh my God. I don't think honestly that press conference is gonna be chairs falling everywhere, fists, John Fury going mad at Mickey Theo, what's this going in? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That'd be a fight to see. Oh, anyways, unfortunately, it won't happen. It won't happen. Anyways, anything else you want to talk about with regards to the boxing? Any other news we need to discuss?
Let me try and see. I think we've covered the main sort of topics. I think what I'll finish off on, unless you've got something else to bring up, is sort of a little bit different from boxing. Have you seen the comments by Molly May?
About what?
Molly May is Tommy Fury's
I know she is.
girlfriend.
I love Island Girl. Yeah, I
Oh,
know she is. I know she is.
uh,
What did you do?
so basically, I'll send you the video clip. But basically, she was talking about. She's just sort of talking about six. I don't know. I haven't seen all of it. I've seen the main comment she made. I don't know the context, but just basically, she's basically saying stuff like she's talking about success, and she's like, "Oh yeah, but why are people something along the lines of, yeah, but we've all got the same 24 hours in a day, and some people are just being lazy, and why don't they just get up and get a job?" Something along those lines, and it's got a lot of backlash where a lot of people have obviously responded to it, because when you're saying this stuff about everyone's got the same 24 hours in a day, obviously a lot of people started talking about the differences in society, and yeah, but we haven't all got the same opportunities. And for me, I was going to do a video on it today. I didn't have enough time, but I'm going to do a video this weekend. And I'm not, some people were talking about, they were bringing up, like her name was trending. Some people were bringing up skin color, and they said, well, it's easier for a white woman to achieve success. When I do my video, I'm not going to bring skin color into it, but I'd say the comments are stupid, because I'll keep it short as I can, because it's like, yeah, but we haven't all got the same opportunities in life. To me, I think I'm a much more intelligent and interesting person than Tommy Fury. Or I say, forget me. I don't want to use myself as an example. It looks arrogant, even though I am a little bit arrogant. But take Tommy Fury. But he's only where he is. He's done nothing as an amateur. He's done nothing as a pro. He's only where he is because of who his brother is. As an it's like, but we haven't all got the same opportunity in life. If your dad's name is David Beckham, do I have the same opportunity as you? If your mum's name is Princess Diana or Queen Elizabeth, do I have the same opportunity as Prince William? So when she's like this, oh, everyone's got the same 24 hours in it. Oh, then when she says something like, yeah, she said the thing about people don't work hard enough. Like, you're talking rubbish. Like, people do work hard, but if you work at Tesco, yeah, you're working hard, but there's going to be a window. There's going to be a level you're not going to get past. So what can the average person do? Not everyone can play basketball. Not everyone can play tennis. Like, and you're famous because you've gone on this little Celebrity Love Island program, and obviously a lot of your success is based on your looks. So like, don't give me this like. So a lot of people. But anyway, I've said enough.
I agree. No, unfortunately, this world is it's an unfair world. Not everybody's born equal. Therefore, because of our circumstances, we not all have the same opportunities in life.
And I'll say very quickly, I think for me, the reason I've taken interest in it, and I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. I'm not like that. I'm an independent thinker. But the reason I don't like it is because, besides this patronizing attitude where people like her in positions of power and like they look down on people, and it's like it's very arrogant. Because like, look, you're lucky. You've gone on Celebrity Love Island. You've achieved six, but don't look down on people and say they don't work hard. Yeah, have you done the work that I've done? Go work on a construction site in winter and tell me people we don't work hard enough. Or the job that I did recently. So I was doing night shift. I was working for the NHS. Listen, I worked for the NHS, yeah. So not for the NHS. I was working at a sort of warehouse where we clean NHS like medical clothing, bed sheets and stuff. All I'm gonna say is this, yeah. Some of the stuff that they were sending to us, that they, hospital bed sheets and so on, we have to wear gloves, we have to wear masks, we have to wear like a little, like, like when you see the dinner ladies, you wear like those little blue hats. I'm not gonna tell you some of the stuff that some on those bed sheets. I'm not even gonna tell you what was on some of these bed sheets that they're sending us.
I wouldn't want to know.
Let me just leave it at that. So I'm doing 8 hours night shift, yeah. Don't give me this rubbish about people don't work hard. And it's like, okay, this is the last thing I'll say. For me, I understand. I'm not going to look down on anyone. With me, I'm a very talkative person. I can talk a lot. I'm very confident. I walk up to, like, if I talk to women, I'll treat you the same way I treat men. I'm very confident with the way I talk to people. And the thing about me sparring people, that Kill Book video, I uploaded it in October. That video has already got it's got 9,500 views. So where I'm going with this, if I keep sparring people, if you take people like yourself, like I don't look down on anyone, but it's going to be very difficult for you to get the same opportunities as me, because I'll spar people, you won't. Like I don't mind, I'll spar Dean White tomorrow if he wants, and that's going to get a heck of a lot of views. Whereas with you, you wouldn't really spar him because you'd probably think, that you might get hurt. He's a big guy. He's not a joke. But I'd spar Dean White tomorrow or Mickey Theo. Like, I'm not going to call these people out, but same with Mickey Theo. I'd spar him. I'd jump in there, like, see what happens. But all I'm trying to say, I'm not going to look down on other people. That's like me saying to you, oh, why just go up and do things in boxing? Yeah, but it's not as simple as that. Boxing's about numbers. And if I spar Mickey Theo, it's going to be very difficult for you to match that. Because if you're just talking, yeah, but everyone does videos talking. Like if I spar Mickey Theo, a lot of people are gonna watch that. They're gonna flip it now.
Yeah.
They're gonna watch what happens. They're gonna be like, oh, imagine if Mickey Theo knocks him out. So this is all I'm saying. I just don't like this thing in society. Like, don't look down on people. Yeah, like, don't take the mick. Don't tell me that Molly May's more intelligent than me, or she works harder than me. No, you don't. I work in construction. I've done ages. Like, you don't work hard. Well done that you've got to where you've got to. I'll give you credit, but don't take the mick and say, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because that's the last thing I'll say. Yeah, but you've basically gone on Love Island. And you're a woman, so obviously you've got this, people find you attractive. I don't. I think you're a clown. But you've got these opportunities based on the way you look. So obviously you're going to get that attention from men. I'm a man, so obviously I'm not going to have that same effect on men. So don't take the mick and say, oh yeah, I work hard for a living. You work hard for a living. You got no college, what have you done that's so hard? What about people that are going to college and uni and doing, I know this for a fact, and then they're working at the same time, doing job like night shift. So like don't take the mick,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so okay, in that case, in this world, do you think everybody can be successful if they wanted to, or just unfortunately, do you think life is just, unfortunately, certain people can be successful, some people can't, just based on circumstances and upbringing and so on. So
no, I say no. I think that's rubbish. Not everyone's going to be successful but there's limits. There's limits to it. I think a lot of people. I'll keep it short. But it's like me, yeah. In terms of what I'm doing, I'd say all these people that are setting up their YouTube channels, like you and whoever, people are people. I'll give anybody a time of day. But actually, let me ask you the question. Let me just repeat what I've just said. Okay, I'll say your channel. You can't become as successful as me. Look, I'm not. Let me, in my opinion, let me explain myself. I'm not being arrogant. It's not impossible. I'm not saying you can't become the next Al Heyman, or that's up to you. Go to college, go to university. You could find a way. In terms of if you're just going to stick to doing videos, you're not going to be more successful than, there's no way. Because I'll spar people, you won't. I don't, if I see Mickey Theo, I'd have no problem saying to him politely, I'd show him the Kell book video and I'd say to him, hey, listen, Mickey, if you ever got time, is it possible for me to come to your gym and spar you? And I'd say to him straight, I'd listen to what he has to say. And if he says something like, oh, you look a bit small, I don't want you to get hurt, I'd say to him, I say, look, if you hurt me, I'm willing to sign a contract that I'm not allowed to sue you. So I'll do everything I can to try and push him to spar me. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, if he, it's only a matter of time before I spar someone. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
So what I'm trying to say, I don't think I'm being egotistical talking about myself, but I'm saying if you've got people that are just coming from the angle of, I want to interview people in boxing, you're not going to achieve the same success as me because I'll spar people. And sparring, I think you'll agree, it's going to get a lot more attention than interviews, you know. So yeah, I don't think, no, there's limits in life, and you're going to achieve success based on, there's a limit depending on how confident you are, depending on what background you're coming from. And I don't mean to talk about myself, or I'll give you a better example. But if you're, like I said, a better example, if your mum's name is Princess Diana, if your grandma's name is Queen Elizabeth, 99% of people, you're never ever going to come close to achieving that sort of success. You know, if you look at Prince Harry and Prince William, if I met them, I'll treat them the same way I treat you. I don't. People are people. If I met Harry, I just say, "How you doing, Harry? Nice to meet you." I wouldn't ask him to spar, but I'll try and see if I could get an interview, try and get him on my channel. But most people, if you look at the effect that celebrities have, for me, if I met Prince Harry, I'm not calling. I wouldn't call him Prince. I'd call him Harry. I'll treat him the same way I treat other people. But most people will get very excited if he walks into a room.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So when you talk about the average person who you're not a member of royalty, you might be more intelligent than Prince Harry. You might be more hardworking. You might be a nicer person, but you're not going to achieve the same kind of success because you're not going to have that effect on people. And that's not fair, but that's the world we live in. So yeah, I hope the answer wasn't too long, but I just think when they say anybody can achieve anything, that's rubbish. That's not true. I think that's rubbish because it's like Hollywood. Not everyone's got what it takes, because you're not gonna. People are not gonna give you the opportunities. They're gonna reject you, or even like boxing. Why does Jake Paul and them guys? Why did they get the opportunities other people don't? Because they've got a fan base. I can't tell people you're gonna get the same because if you're not someone in boxing, if you can't talk and if you can't do numbers, you're not gonna get the same opportunity. Like Conor Ben's got more opportunities than most people. You can't match Conor Ben because he's coming to the table with, my dad's name is Nigel Ben, or you got the other ones. My dad's name is Julio Cesar Chavez. My dad's name is Chris Eubank. So I'm saying you're not going to get the same opportunities. It's not realistic. So I'm sorry if I'm going on about this, but I just, from a deep sort, I'm a deep thinker. That's just rubbish. I don't like it when people say that anyone can achieve success. No, they can't. There's limits. There's limits to what you can and can't do. You know, I've said enough for this. What do you think? Sorry.
Anyway, my opinion, I don't know. I think I'm more open-minded. I think it's hard work if you don't have the right connection. I think it's possible, but it all depends on your mindset and what you're willing to sacrifice.
No, I disagree, but continue. Sorry if I'm interrupting.
It's
let me say very quickly. No, but let me say very quickly, a quick question. Sorry to interrupt. Can an average person, I'm going to answer the question. To me, an average person, you're not going to achieve the same success as David Beckham's son. or Beyonce. What's her name? Beyonce and Jay's. Oh, is it Blue Ivy, their daughter? Something like that. But Beyonce and Jay-Z have got a daughter, Blue Ivy, who. So I'm saying, here's the question. To me, you're not going to achieve the same success as them. It's not impossible, but it's very, very, very difficult because you're not going to get the same opportunities in life as these sort of people. So let me ask you the question. If you're like just a normal person, normal background, can you achieve the same success realistically as David Beckham's son?
Based on numbers, no, because he has connections, very rich and famous. Based on numbers, no. Well, but why I say to that, it's possible, but it's unlikely because based on numbers and based on connections and based on what he has and the status and he has the right connections, he has the Beckham name. Yes, but the thing, in my opinion, the average person doesn't have the right, doesn't have the the mentality of pushing himself to the limit.
All I'm trying to say, I'm not saying anybody can achieve success, but I just think
It's hard work for the average person, but I think
it's
it's
just
possible. It's hard work, much more harder.
there's just going to be limits to it. And I take your YouTube channel. I mean, but it's going to be difficult for you to because I keep using myself as an example, but it's not just myself. But you're going to have to go up and compete against all these different people. Coogan's got 700,000 subscribers. He's been doing it over 10 years. I mean, how long is it going to take you to get to these kind of numbers? And it's not just them, it's not just the established ones, but then you've got all the upcoming channels. I've seen channels in the last sort of there's one called Women's Fight News, also Women's Boxing News or Fight News. They've been around for a year. It's basically two women that are doing the interviews. And I'm guessing because they're women, they've managed to get interviews with a lot of women. So, like Ebony Bridges, Katie Taylor, and so on. So, it's difficult for you. I'm not saying it's impossible for you to become the number one interview channel. It's not impossible, but it's going to be very, very difficult, because you're going to have to, especially where you work full time, but you're going to have to take on all these other channels. Why are people going to come to your channel? Because people have been watching Coogan for 10 years. They've been watching Michelle said for however long. So for some random guy to come, so yeah, but I've said the points that I need to. Like, look, anyone can achieve success, but the point
I think
what I'm trying to
as
say,
well because what inspired me as well to start the YouTube channel was Adi Adelapo because he came a long way. He took him a long time to get where he's at. He came from literally nothing. He came from selling furniture to becoming a commentator for Sky Sports for the Zone as well, Talk Sport. So he's come a long way. So it's possible because Adi did it. He wasn't he came from a poor family. He come from a hood. He was homeless. He was unemployed. He did a lot. He did hard work. Adi got hard work. So he inspired me to know this. Your dreams are hard to achieve, but they are possible as long as you got the right mentality. I
oh
was
yeah,
the
listen,
right mentality.
oh yeah, I'm not saying people can't achieve success, but I'm saying
There are limits. Obviously, you're saying because he's okay. Some people have better connections. That's why there's limits on success. What I'm saying
I'll say
is,
there's limit. Okay, I'll give you an example of what I mean. In my opinion, your channel, I think, I don't think it comes across as rude or anything. I would say it's never going to become as big as IFL. I could be wrong. It's just going to take you just too much time and effort. Too lot. You work full time. So you work full time, don't you?
yes.
So you can't go to press conferences. Press conferences they're like 12, 1 o'clock. Even if you do, okay, I interviewed Eddie Hearn in September. That video's around about 1,000 views since September. When Coogan interviews Eddie Hearn, it gets 70,000 views in a few hours, to put into context. So even if you do interview people, you're just not going to do the same numbers. People are not going to click onto your channel, But I guess I'm going on and on. So, but the main point, look, anyone can achieve success, but there's just limits. There's limits to success, and remember, you're having to compete against other people. So it's going to be difficult to stand out. you know. And it was the same for me though. Like if I was just stuck to interviewing people, there would be a limit to my success because I'm just doing the same interviews everyone else is. So it's going to be difficult. But where my channel stands out, this is the last thing I'll say. I've recently sparred Liam Williams and Kell Brook. Once I've sparred like another 20 people, I assume my channel is going to be a lot bigger. To me, that's if I was just doing interviews, my channel wouldn't be as big. But if I spar people like Katie Taylor and Josh Warrington and so on, it's going to help my channel grow a lot more. You know, so but even then, I'm not saying it'll be as big as Coogan's. But I'll just finish on that note anyway. I respect everyone. I wish you well. I wish Coogan well. I'm not jealous of anyone. I'm just trying to do my thing. It's like when I go to school or when I go to college or when I go to work, I'm not jealous of anyone. I'm just there for me. I'm just do my thing,
Well,
finish,
what's
home.
your obart from also getting more interviews and sparring? What's your in terms of New Year's resolution? This uni thing. What you thought about what course you're gonna do at uni? What degree? What do you wanna? What school you going to? What you think of in terms of uni? What's your plans of uni?
Economics.
Oh yeah. You can. Which uni you think you're going to? You think you're staying local? You think you go to Manchester? Which uni you got your eyes on?
Yeah, yeah, either Manchester, just yeah, it's different options, Manchester or London School of Economics. I'll probably stick to London, I guess, because obviously London there's a lot more going on.
It saves you cost in traveling. It saves you less money to spend on traveling and a lot of stuff.
But all I'll say to anyone watching this, and same for you, just do your best in life. Just set yourself goals and go for it. And don't worry about if people say you can't do it. Just prove them wrong. Like everyone's entitled to their opinion, but just go for it. You know, challenge yourself in life. You know, that's just try your best.
So, anyways, no, we talked a lot now. A lot. How much? Almost an hour. Just don't over an hour.
Oh, it's got to be over an hour.
Over an hour. We always have the long conversations, you and I. Anyways, you take care. Till next time. Have a good weekend.
You too, Yemi.
Bye now.